ask that you is forward and switch on the closest microphone too.
There's no intention to raise questions from one side of the room, answers from the other side of the room.
Item 3, Chair's announcements. Before I make my announcements for today's meeting, first we start off with the exceptional news that children's services in County Durham have been rated provided by the Council, including safeguarding children care leavers, fostering and adoption. The Inspector's Family event, which was a fantastic occasion, being cheered on by spectators along the way. It was all leaders' report. And I invite the Leader of the Council to present the report.
Especially given the weather conditions at the moment, I hope you are all managing to take extra care in the sun and to look out for others, and would encourage next few weeks. Our initiative to create a network initiative won the award for Best EV. I'd like to place on record our congratulations to all staff involved, the team, energy bills. And finally, we are now ahead of household names such as BP, Jaguar. We mentioned this is our last meeting before the Sussex Sea and Food Festival at the beginning of August, so please do make them.
Thanking all of our emergency services and council staff for...
Of course, Councillor.
Anyone else? Please.
We're interested to do this work and the commitment of local
interventions, particularly on those young people committing.
Many of the programs that our Youth Justice Service actually provides, and the outcomes of those, which Martin has set out, and they're very clearly set out in the report. It's a short presentation. So it is seriously a compelling read. You learn a lot from this report about what this service actually does. So, and they have actually improved the lives of young people over many of those lives. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Can I invite Doug Paul, Interim Corporate Director of Regeneration Economy Board, to present this report, please.
Also, to formally adopt or in technical terms make the Collerstone Neighbourhood Development Plans. A detailed legislative framework for. To date, the Council has made 8 such plans in Walton and West Walkinshaw and Castlecombe, Quarrington. A number of further plans remain under preparation. The Collerstone Neighbourhood Plan relates to consultation stages, and the examination ran from September to November 2020 to the County Council on the 23rd of February this year. The examiner concluded needed to enable the plan to satisfy the basic conditions. There was a turnout of 29% and 90.63% will be issued in accordance with Regulation 19 of the Neighbourhood Planning Regulations of 2012. This will be published in the Neighbourhood Plan area. Copies will also be sent to those who have commented on the plans. Finally, Chair, the Neighbourhood.
Can I have a room?
Yes, Chair. I don't know how much goes into these things. Their endeavours have been suitably awarded by an open neighbourhood plans reflect the priorities of local people, and they will now be used by planning officers when paragraph 4 of the report.
To second this report, the parish of Collerstone has been working on this for a number of years, and the majority of residents that voted. So I'm very happy to second the recommendations as in paragraph 4.
Thank you, Councillor. Can I ask the Council to approve the recommendation? There are 4 motions for consideration detailed on the agenda. Motion from Councillor Quinn. The first motion was carried forward from the previous.
Thank you, Chair. As usual, previous motions have 5 minutes to speak. Seconds of those speakers here, 3-minute right to reply. If the amendment is moved and seconded, debate turns to the amendment, or the amendment is put to the vote. Otherwise, I not speak. If following the vote, the amendment is carried, it becomes the substantive.
Thank you. Councillor Michael Steve, can you move your motion, please?
Our rural county and funds appropriately. It further asks for help for the government to consider a more help for
the residents, council and the relevant organisations to work to help the people of County Derry. I am absolutely delighted with our rural status and to make sure that they consider more health inclusion portfolio. That we indeed, I'd like to say thank you. Well done for my motion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Stead. Councillor Combs, can you move your motion, please?
Children and their families. There can be serious physical and mental health care professionals play an important role. Supporting families to take a life course is essential to impact. In the 2018-19 school year, around 3 in 4 children and a healthy diet can help children and young people to achieve and maintain eating disorders and excess weight are public health concerns, supporting people to reduce excess calorie intake and increase physical activity. Employers and the BCS to address food and to promote and increase access to physical activity. In foods and can be used as a tool. Importance of healthy food, I'm asking this council to call on partners to achieve their food offer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's a very good proposal, and I think it's something we can all agree on. And the birth of babies above a normal weight and the obesity are more at risk of growing up to be above a healthy weight. Children are children. There's the excess weight. So, it's evident to me that to combat the public health concern.
Thank you, Councillor Robson. Councillor Hobbs.
I propose this amendment to Councillor Holmes' motion. As a council, delivering a registered dietitian on how to adapt their Eat Well guide to meet the individual needs. There is not one blanket approach on this. What it does not do is apply to children under the age of 2. Those between 2 and 5 have different nutritional needs. And the Eat Well guide highlights that they is not a choice, as fruit and veg is not always an option, due to the cost or supply in some of our rural communities. Transport costs, also accessing food banks and community pantry projects residents can eat. I see that within my own community. We have nutrition need. With the impact of inflation and the price of baby milk, which is soaring cost of fruit and veg, and giving new families having with the cost of living.
Councillor Paul Sexton.
All of our health services, which includes public health, I think we should all aspire to the Eat Well guide and generally healthy and balanced diet. And I appreciate the sentiment, what everybody's saying around affordability and availability. I'm glad that see if Legal would look into that. It is a wholesale change. And it's not that I necessarily disagree with it. It's part of the Health and Wellbeing Board. We're already looking at more than just the Eat Well guide. We're not just relying on that. As we progress, we've also got a briefing lab on healthy weight, hot food takeaways prior to and during the pandemic. And he goes out with a questionnaire, engaging with our retailer outlets, and basically to try and offer more affordable and more healthy, balanced food on takeaways. But I take everybody's point on board.
Thank you, Councillor Sexton. Can I bring in James, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. It doesn't negate the original motion. The rules on today's original motion directly contradict the original motion, so it is valid.
Councillor Kevin Short-Dawn. Advising my resident 2, Ellis 46.4% of children. As bad as that sounds, that was 2021, prior to the current cost improvement, which is the longest squeeze on the living standards since the Portland bills have risen 9.4% since then, which results in housing poverty. Poverty which they're experiencing poverty. The Department of Health defines food poverty as the inability to access food and eat a healthy diet, and in many cases cannot afford a trip even if it could. Recently, due to the surging cost of cooking, people are rejecting common household items because they cannot afford the energy to boil them. For the Eat Well diet, this motion might be good. So my recommendation to the Wizard Food Spending Line is withdraw your condescending motion and members to support an amendment.
Code of conduct, respect.
Point of order, Chair. That was a very personal remark, Chair. I'd like to advise on whether that should actually have been made in the chamber.
Could I retract that statement, please?
My understanding is one who was especially skilled at what usually talent. Please, the chair will come out and comment, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Tinsley?
Thank you, Chair. I think this is it's a really important issue, but I think we spoke about the fact that the cost of taking this on for many families is just not an option in County Durham. But there's another element to this that's really significant. We have to understand that the power that the food industry has in terms of lobbying is one of the point of being disingenuous when I say this, isn't it? Yes, there was a sugar tax introduced in 2018, which was a good thing. But in June of this year, Henry Dimbleby, who is chairman of the League on Restaurant Chair, he reported to government, it's not the actual consumers of this food, and they would introduce tax credits to them, which would encourage them to take sugar and salt out of food, which is the core problem with this. What really gets me is that on the 11th of June, Boris Johnson, remember him? He said that introduction of the same party as Boris Johnson standing up to promote this is to me a little disingenuous. I won't refer to him as a wizard in that context, but and they are not on the consumer of food. I will be supporting them. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Tinsley. Councillor Andrews?
The many adults and children in England dwelling in poverty, even healthy food is secondary to eating at all. Until the government recognises the impact of poverty and inequality on society, nothing will change. The impact of hunger and poor diet on children has a very strong impact. It impacts on youth, which will help to end this cycle. Access to healthy food should be a right not a privilege. These consequences.
Thank you, Chair. Could I ask the officers to scroll back to the top of the amendment, please? And can I counsel it is incapable of being displayed on the screen as one shot? How are we supposed to judge the acceptability of an amendment when we can't see it? And yes, I would like paper copies, please. This amendment distorts the original motion to the point of unrecognisability. Yes, food poverty is a motion specifically about food poverty. But there is a lot more to healthy eating than food poverty. Councillor Gunn actually recognised, but the opening paragraph of that says, whole systems approach is required to support people who live in food poverty. I would suggest that is pretty much everybody in this chamber. Quite a few of us, and all the rest of it, and that is what the Eat Well guide in the Health Service website proposes to do. Meals. But it doesn't stop children on their way to school calling at the local garage and stocking hyper energetic, difficult to control, and then they have a subsequent energy crash afterwards, which makes them difficult to engage and stimulate. There is in food poverty. So to me, the amendment more or less negates the original. Thank you, Chair.
In relation to the motion that is displayed on the screen, we will cycle through so members do have the opportunity to see the Constitution bill. I imagine it's a matter we can pick up the future Constitution working group. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. I did actually remove myself from the list. Could you display the? I'm just trying to understand as well. Is that the right one? I'm supposed to know what I'm actually voting on, but I can't even read it all. I do think there's
with respect, I run this by the office before coming in today, so I thought it would be quite insulting to put it on the paper and give it to members when we try to save
please. Thank you.
Understanding the amendment to the motion, it is very difficult, even when it is cycled through the screen, because we haven't been able to see the motion on a piece of paper and consider it in its full light, the relevant part, because I do have people in my ward who she says she struggled with an eating disorder since the age of 14. Calories will not add to her weight. She would avoid eating altogether if it was possible. often going a full day just eating a banana or an apple to let it eat, then takes another tablet to help keep it down. This is no way to live, and we need to do better. This motion serves them from any support and assistance. The motion that was originally tabled is inclusive. The amendment, I do not support the amendment. The original motion is stand. Thank you.
Councillor Law. Councillor Keane.
Thank you, Chair. It's been for a long time. I'm a size 16, so I'm technically overweight by a lot of discussion of weight and health, and that's mental health. I don't think there's anyone in County Durham behaviour because of the guide alone. For those people who make choices around the and poverty. One of the reasons why I want to be able to support this amendment is because we need to be looking at mental health and at poverty, and that we don't make the decisions that we make for different reasons than not having a garage. And so I'm supporting today because we need to understand more about poverty, mental health and access.
This amendment without paper. On this particular amendment, can I just say this, or if they're not understanding what the amendment is about? I find that extraordinary, Chair, because what is there not to poverty? What is there not to understand about that? The link is absolutely crucial to anything answer. Whether we're in Concert or Aycliffe or Bishop Auckland or wherever, and our families. So why don't you get that? And I hear on Radio 4 that inflation is going up again and food prices are going up again, and we've got all. Is that not an emergency? This is what we do, it is. And I fully support this amendment.
Councillor Wilson.
That is wrong, that we should be using healthy to support people who actually, there are very set reasons in this county due to the depth of support on councils like ours. Let's not forget, it is the reason the council, and once again, stand up for the people of County Durham and turn around and say, actually, we want to see it.
On record, instead of criticising the man and criticising officers, was allowed in public, probably food banks would be empty. And not because people are using them, because they'll just not get the donation. People, food banks rely on people to help as well, and we don't realise that. And food banks need access to all kinds of limiting. This amendment calls on the government to support partners. It doesn't call on our partners. I request a name vote on the amendment.
Thank you, Councillor.
Chair,
Councillor Charlton.
Babies on their first born, these are people that make a move. But what I'm really confident I just heard is that in this room is living, going through food poverty. That is so presumptuous that you are meant to be representing and that we are all representing. You cannot presume anymore. If choosing not to see it or blindsiding people, it's really worrying, and that's the bit that stands out for me. I can't believe that.
thank you, Chair. The third time limit for the debate motion, the removal of the original motion, Councillor Holmes a right of reply.
As Councillor Bell said, it actually excludes people that we're trying to support here. It results in support, not just those that are in food poverty. Members also refer to the cost of living crisis and to ask for help. The members on the other side won't support the food banks. Again, that should be in another motion. It's something completely different. I'm asking for us to support people. In addition, I would like to query, because Councillor Charlton Lear referred to Richard Bell as naive. Again, can this be said in the council chamber?
It wasn't particularly a remark that I consider to reach any item of the council committee. We'll now go to a vote on the amendment. So the names of members and which way they voted will vote against the amendment and 3 to abstain from the vote.
Polly Henry, 50 against, 1 abstain, and then refused.
On the original motion, should you wish to exercise it?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I'm glad to see the amendment's been voted down, but I would be welcome to working with members of the opposition if they want to work with me to bring a motion stands will provide support which is needed for people who are suffering from childhood obesity and from eating disorders. It asks the Council to provide vital support which is needed, for examples like Councillor Jackson gave. I don't think I need to say any more on this matter, but I hope that members vote, please.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Rowland. The motion moved by Councillor Holmes. It will be 1 to support the original motion. It will be recorded. Thank you, Chair. So, as I alluded to previously, the very time of motions is now expired.
So we move on to item 11, questions from members. No questions have been received for today's meeting. That concludes today's business before meeting minutes. I'd like to thank everyone for taking part. And to those members of that brings us to the good day while we prepare the broadcast.